Hey guys and welcome back to another What If Here. Today we are doing part 6 to What If Female Naruto was the reincarnation of Kaguya. And well, let's get into this. Time skip a couple of days as only, a week would only, a week would go by as, Team 7's first C-rank mission would be just that, a somewhat plain and normal C-rank mission. Nothing nothing really exciting besides from one incident. But besides from that, there really wasn't nothing all that interesting. And so they'd made it back at night. Kakashi had told them all, hey, you three, as it's late, go back to your home's apartments and, meet me at, the Hokage Tower in the morning, so that you can give your own report on what you're doing on the mission. They'd just all nod and they would then leave. Kakashi would though head to Hiruzen's office. And 5 minutes later, Hiruzen would hear him knock at the door as he would say, "Come in," and Kakashi could pick up some kind of type of worry and hopefulness that whoever's behind that door is the person he is very much hoping for, and that he is worried about something, so something hasn't gone right. So Kakashi would open the door and go, "Yo." Hiruzen would somewhat relax and go, "You are the real Hatake, right?" "Well, yes, of course I'm the real Kakashi, that is only me. You know what I mean, Kakashi. We're back. Though Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura, I've sent them home for the night. It is dark out, it's late for them, so I've sent them home. So if you want to hear their mission report from their point of view, you're going to have to wait until then, to tomorrow in the morning. But besides from that, I'm obviously here to report mission success." And so he would hand over the scroll. Here's someone nod and go, "Well, how would you like in another mission, you and your team?" No, not right this minute, of course. Don't think they'd be too happy. No, they definitely won't be. I'm pretty sure they'd kill me. Well, not just me, and not just you. They'd probably either kill me or you or both of us. Here's him with somewhat just nod and Cassius goes, "So what is this mission? A rank backup? What? Don't you think that's a bit extreme?" "Yes, but you know the mission I was going to give you until, say, your first C rank mission, though I had decided to revoke that and kind of give you a different mission instead because of said person and Ruby, Anger and Ruby. Hi. Well, that person, Tajna, just so happened to lie to us and hide the fact that it was at first we somewhat thought a high C rank, most definitely going to be a B rank, and it was, and I gave it to Team 10, the next best gaming team, for doing something like this. As Cash would somewhat just nod and go, "Well, they'd run into the Demon Brothers, which, as you know, my son is Team 10's sensei, and so he'd sent back a message simply stating that he would like back up, as this could as he's going to continue the mission with his team. They've agreed that they will continue the mission and that the mission can possibly be upgraded to an A rank. So I thought, well, yous aren't back yet, and so I thought the next best thing besides from sending the actual, Jonin, Chunin or Hanbu, that is to send another gaming team, that being Team 8, as well, they're more of a tracking team with, well, pretty much the only one that could really say fight up front would be Kiba, as well Hinata's got confident issues, and while the Aburame Shino uses bags, not really great for combat. Can't shoot someone nod, so you send a sensei who's got practically no fighting style into an A rank backup mission. Yeah, and I know and it has already dawned on me that it's a very stupid idea, and that I should have just told him to stay put and to wait for backup, but I didn't. I just sent the scroll saying that backup has been sent. Whoops. And now I'm just hoping that they're all not dead. I hope I just haven't sent them all to my death. Well, okay, so we're just gonna have to wait until tomorrow, because, well, me and my team will immediately, or at least after coming here to get all the other necessary information, and they go for maybe 15-20 minutes to get everything they would need for a month away from Konoha. We'll then head out at at as fast as we possibly can, which would mean I'd be carrying Sakura. Why do you carry Sakura? Well, she's the slowest, and then Sasuke's the next slowest, with then me and then Naruto. Of course, if I were to Senshin, though, I don't exactly know where. Well, I know where it is, I just haven't been there for a while, so Senshin's not going to be a smart idea, and plus I'm probably going to end up suffering from chakra exhaustion if I do that. It's a stupid idea. But yeah, if I were to somehow have the reserves to do it, and I could, then yes, I would outbeat Naruto in speed with the Senshin, but yeah, otherwise in raw speed, Naruto beats me. Here's one thing, for a second, I'm pretty sure Ruby beats everyone, and yes, I do know I've been saying Naruto. Whoops. Ruby beats everyone hands down in speed. Heck, she can break Chanbaro, can't she? I think so. I haven't heard it broken in a long while, but I think she can. Not 100% sure though. And well, anyway, you're dismissed for now. Hatake, come at 8 o'clock sharp. Got it. Hi. And he would leave the next morning. The next morning he'd get all his team members up at 7. Told them to meet him at the thing at 8, and they all somewhat moaned about that why get them up an hour early, and Kakashi simply stated that, well, for one, get ready to pack, as we were going on another mission, and this one, pack for a month, and also make sure you eat a lot of breakfast. We're going to be doing possibly a lot of things in one day. And yeah, they would somewhat just nod, and the hour was actually needed, as they would all somewhat arrive at the Hokage's office ready to go. And yeah, Hiruzen would explain to them, would explain to them what the mission is, and kind of what's happened, what it led up to them now going to, hopefully, fingers crossed, bail them out and keep them alive, pretty much. Though he would say, he did get confirmation, to literally just a couple minutes ago before they walked in, that they'd made it safely to the land of waves, and that they are requesting backup. And getting if you go and I still get a request for backup, then I'm gonna have to send Jonin, can't just send Jonin, I'm gonna have to send Armbu, because 3 Jonins, one specialised Jonins, one specialised, but 2 Jonins should be able to handle an A-rank threat. Right, so, and they'd somewhat just nod, and they would then somewhat just leave. They would walk all the way to the gates, and as they leave out, Kakashi would then look over to Sakura and tell her to get on his back. Sakura would just look at him like, what? I know you can get that by yourself, Sakura, but the slowest, if we go by your speed, we'll probably be there within, in 2 hours, 3 hours. Then there's Sasuke, which we'll probably say get there within maybe an hour and a half. Me will probably get there within, say, 30 minutes, and Naruto would probably be able to get there within 5 to 10 minutes. What? Yes, Sakura, Naruto. Sorry, Ruby is that fast. Sakura would somewhat just sigh, and would relent and would climb on top of, her sensei's back, and they would all go off at Sasuke's top speed, as Sasuke was somewhat just slightly struggling to keep up with them. And yeah, they would make it. They were 2/3 of the way there, as Sasuke had started to slow down drastically. The gap had started to increase, and it was obvious to both Kakashi and Ruby that Sasuke was running out of steam, so she'd quickly make a shadow clone which would go back, pick up Sasuke, and Sasuke would somewhat go, dope, I don't need. She'd somewhat just glower at him and would say, shut up, idiot. Remember what Sensei said earlier, so shut up and just regain your stamina. We're going to be busy, and we're probably running straight headfirst into a war zone. As her clone would say that with a straight face, as her clone would then pick up with them, and they would then head off in another burst of speed at Kakashi's then top speed. Though as they'd approach the water, Kakashi would go, yes, Kakashi, I can walk on water before you ask. Okay. And a couple of seconds later, they would then start running across the water. Sasuke would somewhat just glare at Ruby, and Ruby's own clone would somewhat think, how about just, dropping them off in the ocean? Who's going to care? Who's going to bother about him. Who's going to care about him? So what? Whoopsie. Seems like we lost him in the great expanse of ocean. Yeah. But no, they'd continue to run. Though it was very, very tempting for her. And yeah, they'd reach the shoreline and would still head off. Though Kakashi would somewhat look at Ruby, and Ruby would then kind of go slightly in front, as Kakashi would then somewhat slotting behind her, as they would then kind of run up until, Ruby would then somewhat be leading them to where she can somewhat sense at least, Asuma Asuma's kind of chakra signature. And yeah, seconds after they'd made landfall, they'd arrive at Tazuna's house. So, the clone holding Sasuke Ruby's clone that was pretty much carrying Sasuke would just dispel, pretty much, while sending Sasuke straight to the ground with quite a hard thud, as the clone had practically threw him to the ground before dispelling. And Kakashi just put Sakura down a lot easier than that before going to the front door and knocking. Tazuna would somewhat open the door up and would be surprised to see Ninja and go, are you? Yes, we are the backup. And who then realise who these were, and would, though this time, keep his mouth shut. As if they were backup, then they were clearly even more experienced than, these pretty much were with him and had come up as backup, and both were somewhat in a bad shape. Kakashi would ask where are they, go there upstairs. The first bedroom is where the male is, the second is where the female one is, by the Kakashi would somewhat just nod, and he'd go in, and though they'd be in one room, being the boys' room. Though they'd be surprised and go, Kakashi, you're not just me, my entire team, but because remember, the only team to successfully do a C rank, and I'm also a former Armbu member. Pretty sure I'm more than qualified to be here with my gaining during this mission. Asuma would somewhat just shrug and would go, to be honest, you're a lot more qualified than I or Kurenai is. Kurenai, I thought when I'd asked for backup, I thought I would be getting used. I knew you had gone on a C rank, but I thought maybe you would be back in time to kind of be the ones that would send out, not somewhat just staring, what you're saying, I'm not good enough. You heard somewhat as then we would speak up, it's simply because you're expecting to one thing, and that is Genjutsu. Sure, Genjutsu could do amazing things, but you expect too much into Genjutsu that the second you face up against someone who can easily dispel Genjutsu, or it doesn't even affect them, you become absolutely useless. Just as useless as a fangirl, in fact. You're just dead weight at that point. And you may have only become Jonin because your genjutsu is very much good enough, but still, any genjutsu can be dispelled once the user notices it and has strong enough chakra or can influence enough pain on themselves to break out of said genjutsu. And so I can understand why Asuma would very much want Sensei here. He is a lot more capable of than both of you combined. He can do genjutsu stronger than you can cast and can fight harder, stronger jutsu, knows even more jutsu than what's his name? Damn it, I know I just said his name. Not Hashirama. Than even Asuma. So yeah, I would say Sensei is very much qualified to do this mission solo at that. I should go, no Ruby, no, I don't want everyone to know my skills now, do I? And plus, did you forget, Ruby, that yes, I know Sensei, that there could have been spies and that listening in, but you seem to forget more times than not just how strong my sensory abilities are. After all, I am a natural Uzumaki sensor. I should somewhat go right. I do forget about that. Anyways, so then what are we going to do? Because it's clear as daylight, yous probably aren't going to be healed in time for whenever Zabazar is meant to attack, and so they'd somewhat come up with a plan. Kurenai more so just had medium chakra exhaustion, and Asuma had cuts the lot and light chakra exhaustion as well, so yeah, he pretty much wouldn't be they'd kind of agreed that Asuma would just have to stay back here and heal, and that maybe even him staying back can still very much protect the people here, just in case whoever hired whoever this Gato person, we would say, would may possibly send thugs, because if he's hired Zabuza, then he's probably got thugs and will possibly send thugs after his after the bridge to build his family. After all, it's the next best thing to get him to stop building the bridge, isn't it? They would somewhat just look at him, somewhat just nod. And yeah, anyway, they would somewhat continue to build up slightly on the plan. Though pretty much all of Team 10 was out of action. Shino and Team 8 would pretty much stay behind as well, as no, they would be more on the fine side, but they would want to obviously stay behind, as they feel like they would be useless getting away. Though Kakashi gave them one look and said, so you're all chicken. You'll simply throw your talent the second it gets hard. You just won't get any stronger and won't become Chunin if you have this mental state. And they still very much wanted to not go into this, and they said, come on, we're over our heads with this. Like, I've got 3 Genin, my own team, that is guaranteed over their heads. Well, maybe over 2 of their heads, and there's definitely over 1 of them, which you can probably very much know they would all nod soundly. That being, they knew Sakura's probably the one that flew over the head, or at least was extremely dangerous for. As well, she's pretty much just like Kunai, pretty much. Well, though she really couldn't do anything besides from yelling at someone. Yeah, yelling no jutsu. Highly effective with people who have highly sensitive hearing. Though for people who don't, it's not so great and just gives them a headache. So, yes, side effects. Could produce the loss of voice for said user of the yelling jutsu. Anyway. So, yes, they would, well, yeah, 3 days, 4 days would go by as, 2 to 3 days would go by as Naruto, Ruby and, Kakashi being kind of up and down, making sure, or just protecting the bridge builder. And yeah, though today would be the day that he would most likely attack, as he would want to attack as soon as he's good enough to. And yeah, and so they would head out, and yeah, it somewhat won't go exactly like in canon, as though Sasuke would try and, obviously with, what's his name, Sabazar would obviously see, Kakashi and would immediately want to fight him, and he would say, Haku, go play with those little kids. And Kakashi would go, everyone stay back. Ruby, deal with his companion, Hi Sensei, should say, and so he could feel Sasuke's gland. He'd go, stay, Sasuke. I may need your help. Well, he wouldn't, but it's, it did quell his somewhat anger at not really being able to fight. And, once the battle would go underway, Naruto would be very much Ruby would very much be easily holding up against Haku, as Haku would send kind of either water or ice shoots at her. She can produce flames and flames, fire style, and could very much make it just barely hot enough to actually melt the ice. And so it somewhat would do for every one that Haku would do, she would send 2 fireballs at it. The first one would just barely melt the ice. Second one would evaporate. That would be the same temperature, fireballs. But it would be this time good enough to actually somewhat just produce a ton of steam. Anyway, Haku, with now the steam, would then somewhat decide to make the crystal ice mirrors, or she calls it crystal ice mirrors, but it's ice mirrors. And Ruby with this had gone so. What ice should I use? The Byakugan Sharingan, Byaku Sharingan, Rini Byakugan, Rini Tentagugan. The fox would think for a second before going, the Sharingan should the Byaku Sharingan should be good enough. So we would just say okay, and would activate it as her eyes would go from, I think I've got her eyes as blue, either blue or violet, to a white, to an almost ghostly white with 3 black tomos in each eye. And what's her name? Haku would almost immediately freeze. What's this Geki Genkai? What is this? I've never seen it before. It's like the Byakugan and Sharingan mix. No, could it be possible? Could she have? Was that a success? As Haku would then step it up to her max, though, thanks to having the Byaku Sharingan, would be able to obviously see a true 360 degrees, and also thanks to the Sharingan will be able to see them all in that slow motion, being able to either dodge, catch, either dodge or catch, more so dodge them, but she could also slice them in half and whatever more. So yeah. And the harder Haku went, the faster Haku went, the very slightly harder that Ruby had to work, but overall Ruby wasn't working that hard, as the Byaku Sharingan was obviously quite strong, given that it can slow the user's perception of time, but obviously it can slow it beyond your reaction time, so you had to move fast and give those to a Uzumaki, and you somewhat get the ability to pretty much dodge things, and that can move, say, at speed of sound. The Sharingan would catch it, and you could just obviously moving at Mach 1, Mach 2, Mach 3, move out of the way, and the Jutsu whatever would shoot by and miss. Yeah. Unlike, say, for a normal, say, Ichigo, who would almost undoubtedly not see it coming and would most definitely possibly die from said jutsu, whatever it may be. Anyway, yeah, and Ruby would end up, they'd somewhat continue to go, though she would end up, Haku would still end up sacrificing herself for Zabuza's case, and of course, and then somewhat happened as I think Naruto gave him a speech, but it'd be obviously Ruby in this timeline, and well, yeah, she'd give Zabza a kunai and he would run and kill Gato. Though the folks would somewhat go, after Gato has died and Kakashi had laid Zabza next to Haku, as they would die. Well, not die. Well, not they. Haku's already dead. Zabza would thus then die. And Ruby, well, yeah, Kakashi would be somewhat running low on chakra. And funny enough, he did actually end up requiring Sasuke's help, as he somewhat underestimated Zabza a bit too much. He overestimated his abilities and underestimated Zabza's. And yeah, it ended up with Sasuke having to he had to drag Sasuke into helping him somewhat. But yeah, anyway, that'd be, of course, then obviously an arrow would somewhat fall in between them, as they would somewhat see the entire village's population at the, well, behind Tazuna, behind Inari, not Tazuna, behind Inari, and they would somewhat back up slightly, but would then somewhat go forward a bit, though. We would somewhat return and go, you think you can get through us? Think again, after all. I may be Konoha's number one unpredictable ninja, and Konoha's, well, prank queen, but I'm also possibly will be known as Konoha's one girl army. Multi-Shaolin Jutsu, she would yell out as 1,000 clones would appear of herself, which, well, obviously seeing 1,000 of just one person, or 1,001 of one person, it somewhat went, nope, I'm out, and they would all run off the bridge, jump off, run off, pretty much fight to get down the ladders to the boats. So for that, yeah, and well, after that, yeah, they would, well, Naruto and Kakashi would, well, Ruby would carry Haku's body, and Kakashi would carry Zabza's body, and they would bury them in the same place where they were buried in, like in canon, where they were buried in canon. Yeah. And yeah, of course, having, well, 3 Jonin, 9 Genin, and a 1 girl army, you're going to take so instead of taking a week, I think they did a week or 2 in canon, it would only take them, well, 2 to 3 days, maybe even 4, just to somewhat let the bridge set in. But yeah, after that, they would all wave goodbye, and, well, and I would ask who's the bridge gonna be named after? Well, what's the bridge name? And even though Team 7 may have only been backup, but obviously the Inari thing with Naruto would still somewhat, well, Ruby would still happen, and, well, yeah, should though be even more harsh on Inari, saying that no, he didn't know what true loneliness, true hopelessness that felt like, and she had said this in front of, obviously, the Ricky 8 and the 3 Jonin. Kakashi had somewhat knew what she had went through and had always beat himself up since he'd become her, her Jonin sensei. He'd beaten himself up every single day for never reaching a hand out to show her that there was at least one person there for her. Though she did have very much charisma, but still, she still ended up suffering a lot of hatred. And, loneliness and hatred only breeds more hatred. Though, in the case of Ruby, it somewhat bred the want to be acknowledged instead, somehow miraculously. And, yeah. Otherwise, it could have been very, very bad for Kanha. Anyway, they'd somewhat gotten back, and of course, they'd named the bridge the Great Ruby Bridge. And, and so, and funnily enough, the part that connects to the Land of Fire would somewhat be, I think the bridge is made out of either stone or marble. I think it's stone it's made out of in canon. But it'd be painted somewhat a somewhat red ruby colour to match, I think, Ruby's hair colour, which is a ruby red, I think. Not 100% sure. Yeah. Anyway, this one gonna end it here, guys. So if you have enjoyed this, tell me in the comments down below if you want a part 7. Tell me, guys, in the comments down below. Though yes, I do know I did put up a poll on, is it YouTube's, and 13 of you have said that you want this to continue. So yes, I'd presume, you would think 13 people would then type in that, hey, continue this what if, but yeah, it sadly doesn't work out like that. Anyway, as I said, if you want a part 7, tell me in the comments down below. And yeah, guys, have a good day or night, depending on where you are and wherever you live. Stay safe and good.